Do you want to just slag off the listeners again like you did last time while I sort out our Christmas hats?
Yeah, and check if we're live. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So this week I did a different show, probably better than this, if I'm completely honest, by with a channel called Squared Circle Relics. It's all about wrestling
Geometry.
trading cards. Oh. No, it's all about wrestling trading cards, what I used to make. And if you're not interested in that, then I'm not interested in you, and you should probably forget about Christmas because no one likes you. So,
Christmas is cancelled.
Yeah, for you, unless you like wrestling cards. Anyway.
It's not cancelled for us, though, because I spent 17 hours sorting this out. Right, just look at the top of your head now. Can you do that? I think you can. Right, here it comes.
I can't,
here it
comes. I still can't see the...
Ooh, bam, Christmas hat. And there's one for me as well. Excellent.
And I have found the live, which is even better.
Right, so what a ridiculously long and confusing introduction. Today we're going to be talking about the strangest places in the world. It's quite a large topic, so we've just selected a handful, and obviously we'll be doing a sequel to this later on. But maybe you'd like to just launch straight into one of your weird and wonderful locations.
Yeah. I want to talk. He's on the thumbnail. It's a spoiler. But I want to talk about the lovely Kim Jong-un and his country of North Korea.
There he is.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un. He's an interesting fella. And actually, a lot of the weirdness of North Korea is down to him and his family, really. They've obviously been in power for quite a while. Interestingly, Kim Jong, he was educated in Europe. I don't know if you know that. He spent his formative years in a boarding school in Sweden. No, not Sweden, Switzerland. Why would a super rich person get sent to Sweden? No,
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Neutral.
Yeah. I was watching a documentary about him a while ago, and apparently one night he just got a bit bored, so he sent his Secret Service people to go and find his old school friend, his best mate, who he'd not seen for like 15, 20 years, go and find him in Germany, and just picked him up and flew him to North Korea. He wasn't keen on going.
With consent? No, with no consent.
No, with consent. Yeah.
Just put a bag over his head.
No, the guy was saying they only spoke Korean and he only spoke German. So
how were they friends?
No, Kim Jong could, but the people he sent to this guy's restaurant, they didn't speak any German. So that was kind of one of his interesting things. So I've got some good facts about North Korea. Would you like to hear some?
Absolutely, I'd love to hear some Korean facts.
So fact number one, I've got loads of these. So because they've pissed off like every other country in the world, basically, they have no sort of international deals, and so they're really short of a lot of resources, and fertilizer is one of them. So every Korean toilet is linked up to like a sewer kind of network, and all of their fertilizer comes from human feces.
That's very green. Well, brown. That's a very green-brown policy. They're leading in kind of anti-climate change policy. Surely, shouldn't we be commending them for that?
I don't want to eat corn that is grown in Europe.
They do that in China as well. A lot of garlic comes from China. A lot of people don't know that, but the garlic that comes from China is grown in shit.
Really?
But I don't think you... come on. I mean, you don't taste... the garlic doesn't... I don't think it tastes like it's come out of somebody's...
Have you ever had North Korean garlic?
No.
It's famous for tasting like shit.
Is it? I didn't know that.
It's a delicacy. Moving on. The CIA, they believe that North Korea are the biggest exporter of methamphetamine in the world. So crystal
Brilliant.
meth, most of that is apparently made in North Korea, which is good if you're a meth addict, I suppose.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for that, Young. What was the name of that podcast that you were on?
Squared Circle Relics.
Squared Circle, because I'm just looking at Young's face, and his head is like a square and a circle at the same time.
Well,
Was he on the podcast?
no, I bet he likes wrestling though. I'm sure he does. One of Kim Jong and his head related fact is North Koreans must have one of 15 approved haircuts. You're only allowed 15 different haircuts.
Wow. Are you allowed to be bald? Are you permitted to be bald? Would we be allowed?
Well, I'm currently looking at the haircuts, and there is not a bald one.
Oh my goodness.
So maybe they just execute the bald people.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe they let them leave, but no, they probably just shoot him and kick him into a ditch.
Yeah. A really weird one I find is there's no internet to speak of in North Korea. They have an intranet. So it's a government controlled. It's not even internet, is it? If it's intranet.
No, I mean that's to stop them hearing about North Korea from foreign perspectives, so they don't understand that they're inside an iron curtain, and they don't have access to information that would turn them against their state.
No, they only have 16 websites.
Yeah.
None of which YouTube. So we know they won't be listening to this. Poor bastards. And no porn. So I don't know why they even bother having computers.
Well,
really.
I just don't know if this is related. I can't remember if it was North Korea or South Korea, but there's a huge population crisis at the moment. This has been in the news recently, where I think it was South Korea, but they have a shrinking population that it's going to be a serious problem within the next 5 years. Nobody's having kids, basically, because it's too expensive. They can't afford it. They're choosing not to. And,
well, speaking of a shrinking population, another fact, due to the generations of malnutrition in North Korea, they are on average 4 inches shorter than their South Korean compatriots.
Yeah, wow. But if you can fix that with a Kim Jong haircut,
yeah, you can just get the high top one. Yeah,
add a couple of inches and some big shoes. I think he's guilty of that, isn't he? Wearing big shoes and trying to appear larger than he actually is.
I'm very excited, man.
I know. I can hear it in your voice.
Excited. So, you know what we're talking about tonight, Ben. It's my favourite thing in the world, and one of your least favourite things in the world. But tonight we are talking about the greatest sport ever created, and I bought myself a little tag team partner along. I say little, I shouldn't have said that. He's in the room.
6'2". I've done my research.
Let me do the introduction, if that's all right. So, hailing from Oban, Scotland, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this show is proud to present to you one half of the Highlanders, Robbie McAllister.
I'm Robbie.
Get in. So, Robbie, I don't think me and you are too far apart in age. I guess we grew up watching similar guys. What were your early memories of it? I mean, is that what got you into it, or was it a later in life thing? Or
I would say I watched it very young. Me and my friends, we used to wrestle on Saturdays after we watched it. There would be Roddy Piper. This is right around WrestleMania 1 with Roddy Piper, Mr. T. Bringing Mr. T into it was probably a real smart thing by Vince McMahon. Because I want to say that was around while Hulk Hogan was in Rocky, and then Mr. T was in Rocky. So Vince really knew how to put things together to make money. Yeah.
Robbie, it's a bit of a cliche question, man, but how did you first get into the biz? Because it's not an easy thing to do nowadays, and I imagine it was even harder then, being from Oban, Scotland.
Okay, so being from Oban, Scotland, and getting over to Kingdom. So I started in a place called Cambridge, Ontario, and it was supposedly it was a subsidiary of the Hart Brothers School of Wrestling.
I've heard there's a lot of those, isn't there?
Yes.
I don't know how legit they all are.
But the thing was, one of the brothers of Brett was part of it, and then he had his, which I like to call stooge or scam artist, the salesman to get the kids in, and then they had an older wrestler that was well known back in the 60s. He was part of it. But when I went there, I could see the scam ahead, but all I saw was a ring, and I just kind of put my backbone up, and I just started training at this school, and then my tag team partner came over from Glasgow, Scotland, and we put the Highlanders together, and then we chose to leave and basically go to other places to train and see where we could learn, and it wasn't easy because we had to tape VHS, we had to make VHS tapes and send them to promoters, and back then it wasn't easy. The internet's so easy, like someone talks about someone, the next thing you know they're in WWE.
Yeah.
Because someone talked about them on the internet so much, and then they might turn out to flake out, or they might turn out to be a big star. It's so unbelievable now how easy it would probably be to get in. By all you have to do is, well, if you're a good gymnast and you can remember everything, and you have good matches, you have put them on YouTube, and they go, people start talking about them. It's easy to get a job. I think it's so much easier today.
It's difficult to go viral on VHS for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And who were some of your favorites then? Was it?
I would say Roddy Piper, Macho Man. I liked Tito Santana. Well, back then there was Rick Martel. Let's see. I never did like Hulk Hogan. I always wanted to see Hulk Hogan get beat.
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog was really awesome.
Oh yeah, he was cool, man.
Yeah.
Big guy, and
Hacksaw Jim Duggan was around then.
Yeah.
He was a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time on the road with him too.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't switch the mic on when you said hello there.
Oh.
So they got a low.
Yeah. How you're feeling?
Yeah, very good. I feel terrible, but I'd just like to start today's show with a big shout out to Nog Ok, our most recent subscriber from Thailand, and just ask him what the hell he's doing. We don't really understand our demographic. It's two white men talking nonsense for an hour on a podcast that is really only designed for their mothers. And I want to know what's going on inside the mind of Nog Ok. So,
listen,
Nog Ok, get in touch.
Something very strange is happening. We've got a load of subscribers and a load of views for a good 30 seconds of each pod. But I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. If someone who actually has listened to the show could tell us whether they've subscribed, who knows? It might be to do with our new social channels, Ben, which are available.
I noticed in the analytics that they tend to drop off the moment you start talking. So I think it's probably got something to do with that, and maybe just our natural charisma as well.
Maybe
thrown into the mix.
But of course, if people want to know what is happening on the show, they can follow us at this show D&B on X, and on Facebook now as well, because I understand Facebook more.
Do we have to call it X? I hate that it's called X.
I quite like X.
We're millennials. Are we millennials? What generation are we from?
I'm from D-Generation X.
You're a boomer, aren't you?
I don't know.
When were you born?
I don't know
50s?
what that means. Shut up. You were born you were born inside a tube.
Yeah, in the millennial era.
And you still have to sleep in it at night.